Hi everyone, welcome to Common Sense Podcast, where we make common sense out of everyday subjects. Today's topic of the hour is on why he's an ex. And an ex is an ex for a reason.
Yes, he is.
Nana, in regards to your previous partnership, so even dating, it doesn't have to be that big of a reunion. Tell me about the last person that you were with and why they became an ex.
Ooh. Okay. I think the last situation and why they became an ex, I think we both agreed that we wanted different things. Even though I don't know what those different things. I feel like that was a cop-out answer, but we both agreed that we wanted different things.
How long were you down the line when you realised that?
About 10 months.
Okay, that's a good amount of time to date, actually, to realise.
Yeah, to realise that, we both wanted different things. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're just completely at different stages. Anybody that knows me knows that when it comes to certain, I feel like I'm a very meticulous person. And
me too.
As much as, yes, I like to have a good time, I like to have fun, work is also very important to me. So when I'm very ambitious. I'm not going to sit
that's
here.
what it is. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm never going to sit here and be like, downplay what I want for myself. That this is what I want. And I'm very, very vocal about the fact that everything that I set my mind to, I achieve it.
Oh, that's great.
So in that moment where we're having conversations, I feel like you want something completely different. You want to settle down right now. And from my perspective, the way that I think about it, unless I feel like we've done the background work, I'm not committing to somebody that...
What does the background work look like? Tell me, because it could be different to...
So when I say background work, I think is doing the legwork, because I'm not interested in just getting married for saying that I'm married and
Talk
that's
to
it.
me.
So I need to know that we've done, when I say we've done the foundational work, like we've actually gotten to know each other.
How long does that take though?
But it's
the basics, right?
I think it's the basics,
right? Okay.
But I think for every individual, it's different. So if we can't, from my perspective, if we can't sit down and basically talk through a conflict, we are not ready for marriage. I'm so sorry.
What did I call it earlier? Emotional fortitude.
Yeah.
Being able to get through it's like when you're on an aeroplane and you're on the flight and it gets a bit turbulent. Do you just jump off, or do you feel like, let's assess this?
Exactly. If you can't sit there and take on or basically accept that if I critique something that you do, I am not in any way, I'm not attacking you as a person. I'm just saying that you did X, Y, Z, don't really like it or don't feel it.
Do you think it's the way we project? Because as we know, another woman or individual can state to somebody they didn't like A, B, or C. But perhaps they're not as feisty or forcefully toned as you and I could be. Yeah? Because I know when to switch on and I know when to switch off. So I know that when I want to project, you're going to feel like your mum's telling you off.
Really?
I've been told that I can have that about me.
But here's the thing. I think maybe it might be, maybe I'm delusional, but I like to think, I'm very conscious in the way I approach things, purely because I'm aware, I'm always very much, because I'm a very empathetic person. So I'm always trying to think of, okay, what is the best way for me to get this point across to somebody without hurting their feelings? I'm very conscious of that.
How conscious do you think we need to be in terms of, I think it's great to be empathetic when we can, sympathetic when need be. But again, I would say there's nothing wrong with that. It's great.
Yeah.
But I often think that we are more so for others than with ourselves. And I have to talk about the self. Self doesn't mean selfish in a negative way.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is we tend to consider everybody more but self.
Yeah.
So you might be more harsher on yourself than you would with the person you're seeing.
Yeah.
So how much do we then bend to say, let me not say it like this, let me not say it like that? Sometimes you just got to speak the French.
Yeah, no.
There's a time and a place.
I agree with you. And I think from my perspective, I think generally, I tend to always I'm a very gentle person.
Well, that's lovely.
Right, and I'm always going to be like, I always say I'm quite gentle with the way that I break things.
Is that with men?
If I flip out, just generally with everybody, right?
Okay.
But then I get to a point where when I hit my
had enough button. Yeah, that's me. I'm
like
savage.
had it is either my had enough. Literally, when I've had enough, like you can't get me back when I've had enough. It's like once I hit that, that's it, and it's.
So fine tune that for us,
Yeah.
because as we're still on the topic, as we identify what this topic's about, and we bring it back a little bit, and just so people don't get lost in translation. So we're still talking about why he's an ex. So where you felt like you were on different pages.
Yes.
Like the conclusion was just that. And how was the separation? Was it turbulent? Was it courteous? What was it like?
So it was I don't know how. See, I personally didn't like the way it was handled initially. Purely because I'm the type of person where I'm very intuitive. Yes. I know when something is amiss.
Yes.
And when something is amiss and I bring it to your attention that something is amiss, don't try to convince me otherwise when you know in your heart that something is amiss. So
if red is red, just say it's red. Are we saying? Yeah. Okay.
So that's really, from my perspective, that's what I was like, that's what annoyed me about the situation. It was the fact that, wait, I'm not like, we're all, you know when there's a change in a situation, you can feel it, you're in it, you can tell.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can tell.
So when you identify that, hey, like something's off, what's going on, what's happening, is this something we need to talk about? And then you try to dismiss it and make it seem as if, everything's fine, when in actual fact you know everything's fine. Do you find that,
I find that men can do that a lot.
It's not, well, it's like, that's the only time I really got upset.
And I've heard them say, even in passing, or even with its relatives, that sometimes, what's the point in talking about it if it can't be changed? Like a problem, why should I talk about it?
No, it's about you also not wasting my time. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you feel like, if you don't feel like this is something you want anymore, let me know so I can literally like get out of here. Because at the end of the day, I'm not to blow my own horn.
But why not?
Beep. But at the end of the day, obviously, like at the end of the day, like there are people that are interested. So if you're no longer interested, that's blocking traffic. Stop blocking traffic. Let other people come through the door. Don't be half in and half out.
Are you still friends now?
See, it's just.
Does he watch you on the IG?
Ellen, no, but just, you know what? I think, do you know what it is, right? I think I was really, I think more so in the beginning, I was upset purely because I'm like, mate, I was literally kept asking and I felt like I forced it out of you. That I didn't like that. Once I got over it, the initial hump.
Did you have any resentment for that you kept having to wean him to a point of of clarity and then maybe closure? Yeah,
I think there was initially, but then I think I let that go.
Yeah,
I had to let it go purely for and I tell people, once I let things go and once I'm like, that's it. It's then of course, when I see you, I say hello, hi, but at the end of the day, I don't think the depth of our friendship or whatever it was is ever going to be the same.
Have you ever would we call it recircled or doubled back, as we call it?
Double back? To be fair, Joe, in all honesty, I don't.
With anyone.
I personally don't double back. I think the closest thing, but I don't count it as double back. That situation.
Not? Tell.
Because I don't want to, you guys. I know what you're doing here. That doesn't count as doubling back.
What is it? Tell me now.
Okay, so if we went on one date, and then we were just both really busy with other things, and we recently rekindled again.
Okay, I don't know.
But I don't think that counts as doubling.
I think according to the ingredients of what was involved, not that you have to go into it unless you're comfortable. It can be seen. I think we look at the word double back as in someone you was properly with, and then
because for me it was just we only had one date. Like
you can double back. It's like being on a dating app and you spoke before. You've been swiping for the last 6 months. Oh, the barrel is dry. Oh, look. Oh, there's Tommy again. Oh, hi. That happens. That allegedly happens a lot.
Oh, really?
There's nothing else happening on the app, so now you've seen back okay. You know what? Well, maybe it's fate. All these things come up. It's not fate. The barrel's dry, and you're doubling back. This double back can be used in different ways.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So from my perspective, no, it was just because I think in that moment, right? Because I can be very strict.
Yeah, you look it like me.
But really? But the thing is, I'm so nice. I'm not that. But I can't. No. Okay, things I feel very strongly about. let me be honest. Things I feel very strongly about. Yeah, you're not changing my mind. So, yeah.
But can I just say
that's my personality.
We laugh about that. But can I just say, you know what I noticed that we do? You did it, and I do it. is when you say I'm strict or I say I'm firm or disciplinarian, then I say, but I'm really loving. Honestly, I am. I find that we do that. Like I'm really nice. And that tells me, because I do it a lot.
Yeah.
As in, I'm justifying trying to have public balance for the other side.
For the other side.
Yeah.
No, things I feel strongly about, no.
Do you know, we do that. I've done it, you just did it.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm really nice. Just because you're firm, strict, doesn't mean you're not kind and loving. I think people have this misconception.
Yeah, no. They're not mutually exclusive. Yeah.
Like, I've been called rigid by a few people and I don't mind it because the rigidness in those areas serves me great purpose.
Yeah.
You can know for yourself something that's not working for you. You can feel it, you can see it.
Yeah.
Why would I not change that if it was never working for me? I'm at an age where I'm very aware of myself. And I often said to people, your words are a reflection of your own dictionary.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things that are rigid to them is discipline to me. And you need to have some of that discipline. Maybe live a more healthier lifestyle if you do.
Yeah.
So it just depends on how we see words. Are they spelled or are they power? So it just depends.
Yeah, no. That isn't, I think I need to work on that. It's just, I guess.
No, we do it.
Yeah.
It's like saying sorry when you cry. Why were you sorry for our tears?
Yeah, for tears.
What is that about?
Yeah, no, it's a normal emotion, isn't it?
I'm just thinking about.
Yeah, so I would say yes. I think that's probably. But generally, when I'm done, I'm done. That's the closest. But I don't even consider that as, honestly. I don't consider it as. Well, what's the word? Doubling.
Do you know this? Do you know the other day
I don't actually consider it as that, purely because it was just, I think probably at that time, sometimes you meet somebody, but there's so much happening in your life then that you then don't get the opportunity nor the chance to pursue it properly.
Yeah.
Because that happens as well. Because sometimes you honestly don't pursue because of what's happening in your life as well at that particular time.
So the question is, would I double back? Have I?
Have you?
I don't recall doubling back.
Men like doubling back.
Yeah, men. I change my number at least every 10 years because I mean, I don't understand the people that calls me back. It's crazy. Like I haven't seen it for how many those decades. And people do keep numbers. They could be married, happy or whatever, and they still got this number in their backdrop. Why? When I end something with somebody, I delete all pictures, numbers, everything. It's 99.99 read. I don't even have you on my socials. When I'm done, I'm done.
Or you delete them off everything.
Yeah, I know someone that's got pictures of their ex all over the wall for memories. For what? If you're over and you're telling me that you're actually over to meeting new people and you're dating half the time, why have you got? I don't understand. Like old vibration cannot combine with new energy like that. So for me, even if I'm not over in here, I make sure I clean and cleanse. I don't leave no room.
Yeah.
But you can't change
but that's actually the best way.
I've always been that way.
The best way to
move forward. But men keep pictures. People. I don't have no pictures of not one person I dated in the past. This doesn't exist. I go to my Google backup. Don't play with me.
You delete it.
One time I actually bumped into one that I thought I got rid of.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you doing here? I deleted it straight away.
Yeah.
I don't need to see it. I don't need to have it in my vibrational realm.
Fair.
But there is someone that if life made us collide.
Oh, really? How convenient. Collide? I like that word.
Having tangled.
What, two? Yeah. No, two atoms colliding together.
Yeah. Now, I thought about this the other day.
Yeah.
I thought, if there was anybody, because I don't ever do that, who could I imagine? There is one person.
Really?
And that's the one I said I had the deepest intimacy with. I don't think he would want to double back with me.
Interesting.
And that's quite rare. And let me tell you why. Because I can speak for a 99.99 say his heart may want to, but his principle would not allow it. And the reason why I say that, because I dealt with him super firm in such a way that if you've not had a sit down with a serious woman before, you're going to remember me and you ain't going to want it. Mm-hmm. That's from, in terms of checking in with your own, sexual abilities, having a conversation about what you're not sure, what your strengths are, what they're not, not being, let's just say, uncomfortable to have a dialogue with a professional. If you're having issues down there for any reason, like why should we not go online and how to better our sex life? Whether that's looking at Tantra and getting more meditational, like, what's your dietary consist of? Keep bringing junk food to my house all the time. Do you want to have man boobs? Because, there's only one of us who should be wearing a bra. That's number one. Yeah. So I was like, dietary and things that he could implement, I was all ears for. But he didn't have much to implement in the way that he wanted to, I guess. So I don't imagine that he would want to unless I was more submissive in a way that was not worthy.
Right.
So he's a beautiful, beautiful person. You know, but I just feel like for example, we spoke about dietary, not because I'm perfect, but because I am a conscious eater. I have my fun, but there's a consciousness there. Yeah. He said to me, "Oh, my ex liked me, and she always fattened me up." And I said, "That's the kind of relationship you want. I'm not the one. If you want someone that wants to fatten you up and encourage you gaining unhealthy weight, I don't see how you see that as love." But I get that's your interpretation of her accepting you. Because he said I was massive before we met me. I said, we would never have dated if he was massive. And it wasn't all muscle, my love.
That's honest. I mean, at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
You like what you like.
But it's more about health. Look, right now, I want to lose an extra stone. I'm working on getting rid of this bit of cellulite or my legs or whatever. But what I'm saying is, we're not getting any younger. I'm at a certain age.
Okay.
So if a man cannot say to me, babes, listen, I'm not trying to, let's say he said, I'm not trying to dictate or control, but as someone I care about, I feel like you're eating a lot of junk food, my darling. That's not going to help you. I want to grow old healthy with you. There's no guarantees for when we're going to leave this earth, but in the meanwhile,
you do your little that you can,
look at a little, you know, I think even if I feel embarrassed, let's say, I mean, this never happened before, but even if the ego's bruised, that is a form of him caring.
Yeah. It's
also maintaining his attraction. That's what he's trying to tell me. When you let yourself go in any way, it's a clear indication of what? Neglect. Why should I be okay with that? That's not attractive to me. So based on those dialogues, I don't think he would even want to, because I know that he'd want to feel like, okay, have I improved from when I last saw her? Well, I can say I've improved.
You have.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
there's growth there. So
there's growth
not everyone wants to have those difficult conversations. There are men out there that don't want women who are not into self-care. And I don't mean nails, lashes and weaves. Let's get past that. Seriously.
No. I think I completely...
Like boil your little herb tea, drink your little greens. You might not be into the gym. You might do spas all the time, but you are into healthy living, food,
and making sure
skincare. It's not just this. Why, you know, it's deeper than that.
It's not just because that's all superficial at the end.
I mean, it makes you feel good, but it's very superficial. It's
very superficial. Because at the end of the day, it's what's basically making sure that your insides are okay, really.
So I tell you about I always tell this story, and it stuck with me. I used to date someone for a very brief, like a second.
Yeah.
But this example stayed in my mind. We were laying in bed in the morning and I thought we were lounging in. And he got out of bed and I'm like, where are you going? He goes, I'm going to go in the kitchen, prep my juices and my lunch and do my workout and I'll come back to you. I was like, you're leaving this? Check the ego. You're leaving this? He was committed to his inner care routine. And me being present was not going to shift him from that focus. With or without me, he's got a commitment to himself. That has stayed with me because that's the kind of person I chose. He'd done his workout in the lounge, prepped his food for the next few days, containers certain sizes, and I was attracted to that, even when I wasn't even on that road. Yeah. Then he came back to bed when he covered what was important. And that inspired me into more health because it's self-care, internal self-care. Being caught up in how sexy I thought I looked, how was that going to benefit his life? Other than 1-2 push and bust, how was that going to benefit his life? Do you see? So what I now find attractive, other than the frills, I don't want to change. I actually think it's important for me to be attracted to a man because he's gone running every morning, and that does it for me.
No, because it's discipline.
It's a discipline that I'm struggling with forever. So I love it.
No.
Yeah. A man's going to get up and like me, I might, even if I don't make my own juices all the time, I might buy the juices. Yeah. So my fridge is always mainly green and colourful because I'm, I don't eat meat and whatever. Yeah. I'm trying to get off the fish. Yeah. But I have my treats. I've had one big treat for the last year and gained even more weight. I'm losing it now. But have a consciousness. Like if I drink, let's say alcohol a certain amount, or I've had bad treats for the last few days, I will want to flush. I will want to detox. I will want a level of consciousness that can even be in regards to women, sexuality, having our monthly cycle. Do we do a yoni steam? That can be, it can go on.
No.
So self-care beyond the looks. You know, so my point, he wouldn't want to double back because I think he kind of felt a little broken when he left me.
Oh, really?
Well, when I ended it.
When you ended it, yeah.
But I didn't really think he was going to completely disappear the way it happened. I was like, this is a bit much for me. Let's push back. But I think I would have liked to have had one more great time, a night of passion before we ended it. But he was like, no.
He's very no. He was like, no, if we're done, that's it. You don't get to.
I don't normally say that, but the love ended up being good in the end. At the beginning, but so I think in the little fantasy, when you're vacant, you think of these things. Because if I had a level of vacancy, that wouldn't even cross my mind. So I think when you have little elements of vacancy, you think of things that you wouldn't normally have time for. And that's important to identify, is why you would double back. No, I mean, with me, it's just a thought, not that I've done it.
Not that you've done it,
But why did we go back? If I went back to the
then there are people that are not vacant and they still want to double back.
But there's reasons for that. Like
purely because
it's accessible to you, number one.
Yeah, accessibility. And also another thing is, it's when people are like, oh, actually, you know how sometimes I feel like guys do this where they're like, no, I think this is genuinely what I think they do. I think they go and see and try something else, and when they're there, they're like, actually, this is not as good as I thought it would be. And then
is that a guy thing or is that a human thing?
I don't know, because do you know what? Yeah, if maybe from my perspective, right? If I make a decision, I'm standing by that decision, even if my pride will not allow me to come back and double back. Never.
I don't think I
am too proud. I am with my pride. I'll not come and tell you what. Nah, I made my decision. I'm gonna stick by my G.
If we were gonna be honest, right? There's no one in my past that I need to or is worthy of doubling back.
I think that's what it is.
And when I gave an example of, I would in this ideal, it's purely because there's little pocket holes of vacancy. Because if he was my ideal, I wouldn't have got him in the first place.
Exactly.
I don't feel like, oh my God, I regretted it. It's not like that. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it just depends.
And I think that's just what it is. I think if I'm purely, I think the only reason why not even the only reason why actually, purely because I don't think there's anybody really that I've been with in my past that I'm like, actually, because for me to be able to double back is me putting all my pride aside and everything else. It has to be somebody. It has to be somebody that is. I know that I'm the one that effed up, and I don't think there's been. You know when sometimes you're like you effed up, and the demise of the relationship was because you made a mistake.
Yeah.
And
they have to be on here.
So the consequences.
Why is that? Let's talk about
consequences of the mistake is because actually I was the one that messed it up, and that's why we're not together.
So you have to be in control.
Not that I have to be in control, but if in those circumstances, I can understand why I would want to double back.
What about those rare people that maybe you and I may know? And you once had a neighbor who did, where you've broken up with your boyfriend for decades, got married, had children, and end up back together, and then had children. And for some people, it's worked to double back. So when I look at it, I think that we've been coached and groomed to be like, oh, it's a past, don't go back. And we can see the benefits of not going back. But I have heard that some people the right people meet at the wrong time. What's your thought on that? Is that a thing? Or?
To be fair, I can understand that, right? Yeah. Because there are people that I know that they've dated at one particular point in their life, and because maybe at that time, right, because of what was happening, they weren't able to give their full attention to that situation, or they both mutually agreed that actually, or one person actually says, in this present moment with what's happening in my life, I can't be the best version of myself for you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put you through this.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving to work on myself.
That's remarkable. That's the kind of people that we want to be around. Yeah. People like that.
Yeah, because there are, and that happens.
And accountable.
Because you're self-aware and you're accountable and you're aware of that. But a lot of people are not self-aware, neither are they accountable, unfortunately.
No, I think a lot of us...
So even when they're in a mess, they want to drag you in with the mess.
Yeah.
And create a pigsty. If you give them the chance to.
Do you know anyone who's doubled back and it's worked for them?
Do I know anyone who's doubled back and it's worked for them? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. I'm trying to think.
What about vacancy? Or maybe that will be for another subject. Not another occasion, should I say?
Yeah.
Vacancy and what that looks like, and how we play that role within vacant moments, like going back to exes, having babies of exes because of trauma and grief and bereavement, which I've heard people do. So, on that note, to be continued.
To be continued.
... Stay tuned.